morning. Today is really the day that my toothbrush died. The fan is so loud. Let's go catch the sunrise. It's been raining the last few days. It's gonna rain again today, but you know, it's dry right now. Should have brought my umbrella. Wait, let me check the weather forecast. 6:04 right now, and the next time it rains is 5 p.m. Okay, waking up this morning was like pretty easy compared to last year. The reason why I did this challenge last year was because I was, freshly burnt out, which isn't the worst case scenario to be in because it's a little self-inflicted, but I kind of feel stagnant again in life, trying to sort through that. I ended off last year's video saying something like, instead of just letting life change me, I hope this is the year I change my life. Did I do that? I would say yes. I think there's this concept called the Dunning-Kruger effect that compares your confidence to your competence. Here's a picture. And so anytime you start something new, you shoot your confidence levels up while you're still very incompetent, and you hit the peak of Mount Stupid because you think you're hot shit, but you're really not shit. And you go into the valley of despair like, fuck, I can't do anything. You have perceived incompetence now, and your confidence levels are at the bottom. And so my first lesson of 21 is starting is the hardest part, so don't stop, because after you hit the valley of despair, you gain more competence as you naturally practice what you're doing. Peak of Mount Stupid, valley of despair, slope of enlightenment, and plateau of sustainability. Have I hit plateau of sustainability in anything? I don't really think so. I guess my current biggest stressors in life is the fact that this is my last semester in college. Feel very behind not having a set path defined for post-grad, which seems like it's a pretty common thing to go through, but also not everyone's going through it, but also everyone has their own path, and you'll figure things out at your own pace. So don't stop. Okay, I'm gonna get to work now. Day 2. Let's go on a run. If I'm being so honest, I totally went back to sleep. It is now 6:56 a.m. and ROTC is locking up all their bikes to go into the gym right now. The last time I was here was last year, but I guess the fact that I'm running again is leading me into my second lesson of 21, which is Novelty Wears Off. Let's say since I'm navigating a lot of life around chasing a dream, truly imagining having everything you've wanted but being bored with it is something that I feel like was a brain fuck. I'll say this lesson in the context of the past summer where I ran a marathon in New York City by myself. I went to New York City with essentially zero external responsibilities, but just the idea that I'm gonna take this time during the summer and just chase the grind and try and build my craft, which in theory sounds so glamorous and amazing, and obviously it is a very privileged thing to be able to do that. And when I got there, everything was super novel because I've never lived on the East Coast for an extended period of time. I've never given myself this kind of opportunity to go full steam ahead in something that I wanted to do and only I wanted to do. And then there's the pressure of, okay, you don't have any external responsibilities. Anything you do is on you. You also have a time limit of just this summer, so please prove yourself. And then you're also living in one of the most raved about cities in the world. So explore, take it in, and take advantage of everything. I don't know. Super exciting, super novel. And so you're given everything you've dreamed of and everything you've ever wanted, and you're like feeling like shit, and you're like, what's happening? It forces me to ask myself what truly matters to me. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be having a story worth telling, lessons worth living, work worth doing, and love worth sharing. And you can strip everything away and that will still be the answer. So new experiences will continue to become ordinary. That's what they call the hedonic treadmill. Also, when you do feel in those lost states, like, it's best to put up boundaries, because I had a blank canvas over the summer and everything was novel still. So when you don't know what you're doing, it's best to at least have boundaries to tell you what you should be doing every day, and telling myself I was gonna run a marathon in 40 days was enough creative boundaries, and then it also helped me keep my life in check by forcing me to exercise every day. Also, it was an attainable, tangible goal to reach at my own pace. But I guess summer was an internal journey with figuring out what truly matters to me and how I want to approach this career in the future. And I'm still all over the place, but I am more focused than I was at the beginning of the year. Let's run. Oh. I remember last year, I was like, I hate this, bro. But now I'm seasoned. Alright, we're done. Well, let's watch what I talked about last year. I sat on this bench. I think I said something like, you know, things are hard, but hard is hard, and do hard, but hard is fine. I'm gonna go on a run. Oh my God, I did it as day 2 as well. Yeah, it was way darker at 5 a.m. Sorry, not sorry. 7:32 now. Damn, girl. You know, doing hard things you hate is not fun, but maybe you don't actually hate the thing. You just hate the discomfort of starting something new. It's gonna be bad. You're gonna be so ass. But you're gonna suck. But now I don't give a shit because novelty wears off. Damn, today is really the day that my toothbrush died. Alright, so here's the thing. My last class ends at 10 p.m. I have my games capstone, a massive computer science project due, and my 3D animation class, and I have to edit stuff. So today's lesson is short and simple. Stick to one path. Putting all this energy into a bunch of different areas that aren't necessarily aligned, it's just you're fragmenting yourself. So much energy for a lackluster results in so many different areas. No one, yourself included, knows what's going on in your life. Let's do a stunt. La 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 la. This was an example of falling. For a moment in 2025, I was like, I might be addicted to falling off. Like, it feels like I'm working hard and I know I have willpower. So I was like, why am I not getting anywhere, and why am I so unhappy? It's more so because I feel like in the past few years, I've been in a constant state of needing to prove myself or feeling like I needed to. And my impression of proving oneself is overcoming as many challenges as possible. So when it seems like there isn't really any challenges to face, I'll just make my life just so much harder than it needs to be. What do I even need to prove? I just wanted to prove that I can successfully pivot from being a CS major to building a career in entertainment. So I know exactly what I need to do. I need to do my homework, get the degree, but also keep making stuff. It's almost as if like I felt like I could speed run this pivot, because if you do something super fast, then that's like, holy shit, you're goated. But that's not sustainable. That's what also makes you fall off if you think you can speed run anything hard. It's also proving yourself is so stupid because it's about the journey. You can really only prove yourself through struggle and a journey. So the moment I realized I was essentially addicted to falling off means I recognized that I was low-key self-inflicting my self-sabotage, and the only challenges that were in my way were all because of myself, which is so stupid. So I guess I'm currently in remission. Lesson 4 was don't be addicted to falling off. Dude, what is going on? Okay, stop. Today is a Saturday, so I have more time, and Ralph's opens at 5 a.m. so I can go shopping and we can do a cooking show. Holy moly, it is cold out today. Thinking we get some eggs and tomato. Lesson 5, keep cooking, because everything is temporary, and all your highs, they're gonna go, and all your lows, they're also gonna go. Oh no, I've experienced this a lot, where all my lows are usually followed by some sort of high, but then, you know, those highs, they're followed by some sort of crash in the case that, you know, I stopped cooking. When I mean cooking, I mean it in the metaphorical overused sense, like, oh, let them cook, you know, type shit. If we apply it to actual cooking, there's marinating, you know, you just soak information in, and you marinate, and it doesn't feel like you're really doing anything because you're not. You're just sitting there where you're soaking things in, getting real juicy and nice. If you're marinating, that's fine. Just patience. That's good. What else is there to cooking? Just getting chopped. Oh, it's okay to be chopped. You're accepting it. You're not always going to be chopped, you know. You're going to get added into the marinade or consumed and turned into shit. Sometimes your shit turns into hot shit, though. It's just like, depends on what type of nutrients you put into whatever you're chopping and marinating the stuff with before you consumed it, you know. Shit, I lost it a bit there. I guess being chopped is bad. Don't sustain being chopped, you know. Go back to cooking. After you marinate, go to cooking. Yay! We're at Ralph's. Morning. The only thing about eggs is if I get a carton, I have to commit to eating all of them. Whatever. Loki, I feel like I only want one tomato. Alright, looks good enough. Yes, please.
I know you're recording.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem.
This shit looks like ass. I'm showing the people. I need to drowse this in sriracha. Not even eating this with rice doesn't deserve it. Cheers.
Does it taste like Chinese food?
Bro, it that just tastes like dining hall scrambled eggs. I got the ratio all wrong.
I did see it looked like it was mostly egg.
Day 6. I'm currently housing a friend, so I'll talk after they leave. Lesson 6 is criticism only bothers you to the extent you believe it to be true. I guess I had more of a public profile this year, and that elicits comments. The worst comment someone could probably make about me is that I'm worthless. But if it's oh, you're chopped, or if they call me slurs, it doesn't matter to me as much, because if you think about it, there are infinite criticisms in the world, and they're either said to you or they're not said to you, but they exist regardless. At the start, I'll take things a lot more personally. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Most people are just too busy to give unprompted second opinions on you, and at the end of the day, any opinion out there is just someone projecting their own experiences onto the context that they're given about you, but they don't have the full picture. You don't either. And once you realize that, I guess it's a lot easier to pick and choose what you actually internalize and what you decide you want to focus on or be bothered by. Do I give a shit about how I'm perceived as much these days? Kinda, but not really, because if I did give a shit, would I do this? Wait. I really want to learn the drums, so I don't have a drum set with me right now, but I have my drumsticks. And so you can say I look stupid, don't really care, because I know that I'm trying and I don't care what anyone says, because criticism only bothers me to the extent I believe it's true, and I believe I've been getting really good at the drums, so. We can't even rewatch it to know I'm doing it correct. Okay, gotcha. Okay. The foot pedal. Alright, see you tomorrow for my last day. A week later. I fell off. 6:33, March 2nd. It's a week after I was initially supposed to have my last day. That day, I literally woke up at 4:30 and then I went back to sleep because it wasn't 5 yet. And now it's 7:44. So then I was like, okay, the next day, so I'll do this again tomorrow. And I didn't. So then I was like, okay, let's take this week and actually think about what this challenge means. Because yes, this is a challenge video, but it's also more so a yapping video for me to reflect on the year. And I know this entire video is just me delivering it in a completely different manner than I was delivering it from last year, because last year it was some sort of transformation. This year it's just oh, let me just do it again. And I could be saying the exact same thing, oh, do hard things, blah, 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 but since I'm not delivering it in the same manner that I was delivering it last year, it doesn't mean the same. I learned this in comedy when I started doing comedy. When you don't believe in your jokes and you don't have the confidence, this joke is just not going to be funny. But if you have that initial excitement of that exact same joke and you deliver it like, oh my gosh, this is the funniest shit ever, it could be funny. Applying that to this video, since making this video last year, I think I've had some sort of switch that went from I really, really want this, and so I'm going to do this hard thing for it, to I've really, really wanted this, and so I'm going to have to do this hard thing for it. And you can see me kind of pick up on that with Novelty Wears Off, like things become routine, or like I'm addicted to falling off, or keep cooking. Everything is so discipline maxed. Everything is so conditional on the fact that I have to stay on a certain path in order to perceive it as success. And then so my worth is tied very much to how I navigate this path, because that's the only way that I've been feeling content with life this past year. And I think just the joy of everything that I wasn't even aware of, like the joy of it all has been sucked out. And delivery is half the message. Like, despite me saying certain things, I can just feel me feeling a different way, and then I guess that's a sense of deflection. And so I'm gonna listen to the delivery of this video. I recall last year I just hoped that 21 was the year I changed my life, and I do think I redirected the course of it by doing whatever I was doing. And so 21 was the year I hoped I changed my life, but I hope 22 is the year I find joy in it again. Here's to 22.